Okay.
Good evening, all.
Good
I hope
evening,
we're
Miss
all fine.
Raina.
Welcome to this session for early years. Miss Fola, are you ready? Ready to take us on a ride? You know, early years is one of special, should I say, it's a special department that is so dear to me, yet I can't teach in it. I can't survive in the early years department. I've tried it. Don't worry, I've tried. And every time I came out, it was like, please, please. I think that was the only time I didn't want to be a teacher, being in the early years. Teaching my own children is like, oh God, please, can somebody just do this job and let me be? Sometimes I honestly try, and it's not just working. So I hope to get insight because I still have an early years child. I have a 4-year-old who is still in nursery 2. So at least for this final 1 year, I hope to be able to make a little bit of impact that I did on his siblings through Miss Fola's guidance. Miss Fola, over to you.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Good
Good
evening.
evening.
Thank you, Miss Raina, for this opportunity. I am grateful, and I hope I'm able to help in at least I hope I'm able to share something that will be useful for you and your 4-year-old. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for showing up. Thank you. Okay, so without wasting much of our time, I will be sharing my screen now. But before, while I do that, I just want to ask us, what do we understand by the word creativity? You know, when we talk about creativity, sometimes it's often um, mixed up. So what do we understand by the word creativity? Yes, so if you hear the word creativity, I want to make it as interactive as possible. So when you hear the word creativity, what's the first thing that comes into your mind? You don't have to talk, you could just help me write it on the chat box. What is the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear creativity?
For me, creativity means fun. Fun.
It means fun. Okay. Thank you so much. I
Yeah.
will be checking the
Somebody
chat
wrote
box. Okay.
innovation.
Innovation. Yes, that's more like it. Innovation. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm trying to share. Okay. I think I've been able to do that. So please let me know if you can see my screen. Yes. Okay. So welcome to um today's class. It's a class because when we're talking about the early years, whatever we do is a class, whether we're playing, it is a learning process. So whatever we're doing is a learning process. So thank you, Miss Raina, once again for this opportunity. So my topic today will be bringing creativity to the early years. So Miss Raina said creativity for her is fun. And thank you for the person that said innovation. So I will be talking about creativity in the early years. So that's why I tried as much as I can to channel my definition to creativity in the early years. So I wrote here that creativity is the ability of young children to explore, to experiment, to express their ideas and their thoughts in imaginative ways. So it's not just some people when they hear creativity, even some teachers, the only thing that comes about into their mind is probably arts and crafts. But no, creativity is beyond arts and crafts. Is a part of it, but it is beyond arts and crafts. It is the ability, and creativity is quite a key thing because it is it is in what builds the child. Like when you're able to raise a child that is creative in different aspects, you would be able to by the time the child is going to elementary school, it's very easy. Like there are so many things that they can do. Now I got exposed to something this week, and even that was even before your invites came in, and it surprised me. I would like to share that so that we can understand how important this aspect is, because some early years teachers feel is about, oh, a child learning how to read maths, learning how to write the numbers, learning how to write the sounds, learning how to read, but it's beyond that. So what I wanted to share is that someone shared that when you don't develop a particular part of a child, now what happens to that part is not like it's being kept somewhere. What the brain does is that the brain prunes it, that is, it cuts it off. So if as an educator, as an early years educator, you're not helping a child develop a particular part, probably you're not helping a child develop problem solving, which is a part of creativity. You're not helping a child learn how to solve problem. What the brain does is that it cuts it out. It's just like, let me explain so that we can understand better. When a child is in the womb, we know there's a time for the eyes to form, the time for the nose to form, the child for the mouth, the hands, the leg. And we also understand that unless there's a miracle somewhere, if this thing does not happen before birth, it can't happen again. So that's the same thing as early years teacher. Creativity is very important. If you don't help a child develop it, at least in their first, from their 0 to 5, it is difficult for you to achieve that when they grow up. That's why you see some adults that can't solve problems. You just be like, "Ah, this person is not even creative." It's not like the person don't want to be creative. It's because the person was not raised to be. So as early years teacher, this is a very integral part. Creativity must be what we do. It's not just, oh, the child is doing art, the child is doing craft. No, it is beyond that. Creativity is beyond that. So it's for you to help the child explore, to help the child experiment. Let them express their self. Let them express their thoughts. Let them be able to imagine, oh, what if this? It's not like you're always doing something for them. Sorry, I have a toddler here. So if you're hearing someone call mommy, yes. Okay, put so very well. Sorry about that. She's busy exploring with water. So if that's what will make this class go well, just let her have her way. Okay, so I will be moving to my next slide, which is why creativity matters. I think I've been able to talk about that a little. Now, why creativity matters is that it helps in brain development. Creativity helps in brain development. Like I said before, if some part does not develop, it's not being kept somewhere. You know, sometimes before, I'm always of the opinion that, oh, if a part of the brain is not being used, it will be stored somewhere. No, that is not what happened in the early year stage. What happens is that the moment you're not using it, it is being cut out. And while preparing for this particular part, I came across the part that talked about the left and the right brain. Sorry, I'm a scientist, so if I'm talking about science, just pardon me. I'm a computer scientist turned early years teacher. So there's a left side of the brain, there's a right side of the brain, and each part has what it's doing. So for the if you're only teaching a child to read, to write, the only thing you're doing is developing the right side. I hope I did not miss it. I think, yeah, the right side of the brain. And the other part is just there, not doing anything. So why creativity matter is that it helps in developing the brain. If you are helping a child to be creative, you are giving the child, you are putting the child in scenarios that are helping the child to think outside the box. What you're doing is that you're not only developing the right side of the brain, you're developing both sides. Both sides are developing accurately. Now, another thing it does is that it builds confidence. There are some children that they are scared to do something. Like, even, no, sorry, some adults, they are scared. Like me now, I don't like, I'm scared of heights. Like anything heights, just like my heart will start panicking. And I'm sure probably when I was growing up, because that's the only thing I feel about it. Like probably when I was growing up, I was not given that chance to probably climb high places and all. And you find that a lot in the earlier settings. Like they don't want the child to climb, they don't want the child to do this so that the child will not get injured and the children, the parents will not come to talk. No, you are, what you're doing is that you're helping them to build their confidence. When you're doing this, you're helping that child to build confidence. The most important one thing about me is that I encourage children to play dangerous play. You're watching them. Encourage them to play dangerous play. You're looking at them, they are climbing. You're watching them. It's not like you're just leaving them. Somebody shared something that if a child fell and she was just, if have you noticed that when a child falls and you act like you're not looking at them, they move on easily. But imagine a child falls and you scream, ah, Jesus, what happened? They start crying and they can cry for so long. So confidence is not being built. So when you're leaving the child to explore, you're allowing the child to do, you are allowing them, encouraging them, okay, try this thing, try this thing. My daughter will sometimes climb the window to turn off the lights. Sometimes I know it's dangerous. Sometimes I just look at her like, oh. But one thing I know that I'm building is I'm building confidence. I'll allow the children go out to play, allow them build confidence so that they will not grow up to be adults that are scared. So another thing that why creativity matter for me is that it develops problem solving skills. Like I said before, creativity is not just arts and crafts. No, it's beyond that. Problem solving skills, everything add up in creativity. You're giving them a scenario in the class, allowing them, not that you're teaching them everything, you're not teaching them all the steps. You're giving a child puzzle, oh, fix this puzzle. You are showing the child, this is it, why not put it? No, leave it, even if it take days. One thing I do about puzzle is that I will just leave it. I'll keep it in a space for them. When you're ready, you come back to it. Nobody should touch it. Even if it takes 2 weeks, even if it takes 3 months, that way they are learning patience, they are learning problem solving skills. So in future, when they grow up, they are finding themselves in situations, they know how best to handle it. They know that, oh, this thing does not just come like that. It will take time. So you are building problem solving skills, you are building emotional development, they are developing emotional need, they know how to socialize, they understand that, oh, this thing might not go like this, they're not feeling so bad, they understand. I hope I'm not going too fast. Please let me know when I'm going too fast. I can be a fast talker sometimes. So another thing that I want to talk about is how to foster creativity. How do you foster creativity? The reason why I love the early years is this first one, stimulating environment. Like anything about the early years is about a stimulating environment. Even in our homeschooling, even in our home, the first and most important way you can foster creativity is to give them an environment that is safe. When if you remember, I was talking about encouraging them to play dangerous play. You're taking away the things that can be harmful. When I say dangerous play, I'm not saying you should give them a stick that has nail and said Miss Fola said they should play dangerous play. No, you're taking away everything that will cause harm to them. If you go to a well-equipped early years school, there's no everything, whether it's a table, even when they hit their head, it's not something that can hurt them. I think I worked in a school that we had a very sharp table. In fact, when the children just put their head down, like as nice as that table was, it was very terrible because any little thing, the children are hot. So you are ensuring that you're giving them a stimulating environment. The children are not scared. When they hit their head and they did not see blood, they still want to do the same thing. But they hit their head today and they saw blood. You can't just assume that that child will want to try that thing again. No, even me, I won't want to try it again. It's just like a child that puts his hand in fire now. Are you expecting that child to go back there? No. So you are giving them a stimulating environment that is safe. Another thing that I will talk about is encourage curiosity. You have to encourage curiosity for these children. Some of us as teachers, we don't. Ask the child, what do you feel will happen in this thing? Ask them, especially those of us that are teaching the age 3 to 4 to 5. I understand that age 2, the one 18 months and come might not give us response, but still, you encourage curiosity. You just observe. It's not like they are doing this and I say, oh, why are you doing that? You have to encourage curiosity. Sorry, just give me a minute. I need to check that this girl is not feeling flooding my house with water.
So, have we learned anything yet?
Okay, so let me take a pause on this part. I hope I've been communicating. I hope I've not been
Yes.
rushing.
Yes.
Your hands are clean. Great. Well done. Don't come in. I don't mean this. Thank you. I'll wash it again. Okay. Thank you, Miss Anu. So you have to encourage curiosity in these children. You have to encourage curiosity. When you encourage curiosity, let them ask questions. Give them activities that would ask questions. Give them open-ended play. Let them be curious. You know, sometimes you see some people, whatever, there's somebody, a friend I have, like, sometimes I just look at him like everything goes. Anything you say is fine. If you bring this decision, is okay. If you bring that decision, it's fine. And seriously, you know, when I became an early teacher, I got to understand all this thing better. That, oh, so that means probably the teacher has missed it somewhere. And I believe we don't want to be teacher that has, you know, most times when I pick this job, the only thing it gives me is that I hope I'm doing everything right. I hope I'm not miss. I don't want this child to just wake up one day and begin to blame me that, oh, whoever did this. Like, just like I always tell myself, oh, I praise every time I praise my nursery teachers. I don't know them. I can't remember anything about my nursery school. But every time I praise them, I'm always saying prayer that whoever taught me in the nursery school, God bless that person. And that's the same thing I want to do. So encourage them to be curious. You have to encourage them to be curious at all times. Encourage them to be curious. Then another thing is freedom to explore. Give them freedom to explore. Early years teachers can be very scared. They, and I understand. I think I understand because I remember my first year as an early year teacher, I got about 2 queries, like 2 strong queries, because in about first week, one particular child got injured twice. Just one particular child, he doesn't sit in one place. He got injured twice. So I understand where the fear can come from. But no, we have to, that one did not limit me. I just kept encouraging myself. It will get better. It will get better. So we have to give them the freedom to explore. I've worked with teachers that they'll be like, oh, no, don't, they won't bring down the toys. They will leave it, the blocks. They'll be like, the children will put it in their mouth. And I'll be like, goodness God. If they want to put it in their mouth, let them put it in their mouth. Like, I understand that we have to look at their safety, but at the same time, we must not rob them off of all these things. Some teachers also have fear of, oh, if they break it now, I'll have to be the one to pay. Me, I don't mind though. If you say you want to remove money from my money, it's fine, provided the children are getting what they want. So we must, I'll give them the freedom to explore. Let them explore. Let them explore the environment. Take them out of the classroom. Let them explore. Let them ask questions. Let them ask questions. Oh, why is this thing like this? Why is a pig having a nose like this? They will ask weird questions. They are learning from that. So give them the freedom to explore. Then the last thing I wrote about how to foster creativity is model it. Sometimes we mix it up. We've been to lots of training and they will say, let the children, like, let them be the one leading. Yes, it's okay to allow them lead, but sometimes you model it. There are some children that if you don't model it, they will not move from where they are. If you don't encourage them, if you don't show them, some children are like that. We have different type of children. Some are ready, some are inquisitive, some they will not live where they are. They will just sit down and be looking at you. So you must model it. From when they are looking at, some might not even try it at that moment. You encourage them. Okay, how about you try this? How about show okay, this is how you do it. Some of them are lost. You're just giving, they don't know whether to put some children, when you give them, let's assume you're giving them building blocks. Some of them, when you give them, you put it down. They want to touch, they want to look at, they want to explore. Some of them, if you don't show them that, oh, you can use these building blocks to build this, And when you're doing that, I'm not saying that you do that and you completely just spoon feed them. No. Then another aspect I want to talk about, what came to my mind about this is when you're teaching your sounds. Okay, you show the child that probably you're doing the group one sound. You show the sound that, oh, you have I've taught the group one, the sat spin. You've told it that, oh, ass. You've given, some teachers will still go ahead to give them all the words. So you've modeled it for them that if you bring this sound together, this is what you're getting. So see, allow them be like, okay, I've shown you this. Now go ahead and create your own. Go ahead and create more. So you are modeling creativity. At the same time, all these things work hand in hand. You are still giving them the freedom to explore. So any question to that end? Any question to that end? Okay, I have my guys here, so they will do a lot of contribution. Yes, you're showing them how to do it. You're showing them how to do it. You're stimulating, giving them a stimulating and safe environment. You're encouraging curiosity. You are giving them the freedom. Let them have the freedom. Children will be children. You can't take that away. They will be children. You can't take that part away. So let them explore. Let them look at their environment. What they are doing is that they are learning. They are building skills that even you are not aware about. So which takes me to my next slide.
I have a question, please.
Okay, ma'am.
That freedom to explore,
Yes, ma.
does it involve me allowing them to take to enter my kitchen, carry my pots to the living room, rearrange my bedroom, my makeup,
Okay,
my
thank you so much,
shoes?
ma. Thank you so much for that question. Now, this question, when I was preparing, this particular experience came to my mind. I saw a video of a small girl that was breaking egg, and she was practically cooking in the kitchen. And now, how would that have happened if she did not go to the kitchen to take your pot, to take your this, to take your that? That's why, as teachers, we have an activity where the children pretend to cook. Some even have it live. So allow them. I was showing someone an image of my daughter with my sieve on her head. She put it on her head and wore glasses. Sometimes she will carry my pot from the kitchen and bring it inside. She will carry the spoon and be turning it. As she's turning it, do you know that she's building something? She's building muscles, which will help her write firmer. So whatever they are doing, irrespective of how weird it is, they are learning something. That's what parents don't understand. They might turn your room apart. I know it can be some. In fact, even as a mom, sometimes it's over. Sometimes I just lock all my cupboard. Like I will lock it up. Like I'm tired. But sometimes I will still open it up for her to do that. Like, okay, just have your way. Just do whatever you do, because whatever they are doing, they are building one skills or the other. I hope I've been able to answer your question, ma. Please, if you have questions, just drop it on the chat box. Miss Raina will read it out if I don't see it. Okay, so on the activities that promote creativity, art and crafts. I've said it before, art and crafts is a part of creativity. Let them explore in art. I was reading a story of a child that it was just like he doesn't participate in, he could jump and play, like jump and play everywhere. You can see how weird children can be. But when it comes to, okay, come and sit down and do a structured activity, he does not want to do it. He doesn't want to do it. Come and paint, come and do this. And the teacher said she had to just, okay, put paper everywhere in the floor, give him the brush and start exploring, start displaying everywhere. All he just wanted to do was to be jumping about. So art and crafts promotes creativity. When they are doing this, they are creative. There are some of us that can't draw anything, like me now. I can't draw to save a life. I can't. I just learned it. I think it's early as I now bringing out my paintings, and I just realized I love to paint. I didn't even know I love to paint. And I'm not sure I got to paint when I was in nursery school, because thank God for 21st century education now, that children get to paint and all. We don't get to do that every day regularly. So allow them create things. So many years teachers, they will put, it's not about the camera. We know, yes, we want to let people see what we're doing. Your job doesn't have to be perfect. The children are not perfect. So don't help them do this craft. If they put what if my children are doing crafts in school, if the eyes is supposed to be here and they put it here, it's fine. That's where you want your eyes to be. No problem. So let them do their arts and crafts by themselves. Don't their work can be perfect. They are children. So art and crafts promotes creativity. Another thing that promotes creativity is storytelling. I love storytelling. Like anything storytelling is it for me. Do it in a way that they are looking, they are inquisitive. You're telling the story, you're using all your energy, you're using everything, you're moving about. They're looking at you, they want to know, oh, what is happening next? They are inquisitive. They are learning something. What do you think will happen next? Ask them questions. Oh, what do you think will happen next? Let them know all these things as you're telling the story. Not that you're just telling the story, you're just telling it like that. No, pause in between. Ask questions. They might say something that is silly. It's fine. Encourage them. Oh, wow, well done. But it could be like this. So storytelling it promotes creativity. Even them themselves, they will build skills. They will love stories. They will want to tell stories. They want to demonstrate like you. Why? Because sometimes you are their role model. So another thing is sensory play. Sensory play it promotes creativity. Give them the sound, give them the play, put those things inside the sound, let them look for it. Let them be creative. Oh, they see more, they look for you. Already know what you put inside. Oh, look for it, check. Let them play with stones, let them do all those things. Do you take your bath in the kitchen? You took your bath in the kitchen. Hey, yeah. Okay. My daughter took her bath in the kitchen. There's work for me today. Sorry. Don't clean your body.
Creativity. That's
Creativity.
creativity.
This is creativity at its peak. Like my daughter just took her bath in the kitchen. Okay. We'll clean it together. So allow them do the sensory play. Music and movement too. Somebody will say, oh, music, movement. How is it creating creativity? How is it promoting creativity? All these things work hand in hand. Some of us can't sing. Some of us can't dance. Maybe if somebody has encouraged us, okay, you can do this. Don't discourage them. Even when they are taking steps that doesn't look like it, encourage them. So that when they are out there, they are not scared to display. There are some people, when you go on the road, you see them, you know that what they are dancing doesn't make sense, but they are not sending you at all. They are not minding. There's confidence, which is the most important thing. So I have here, I'm about to round up now. Thank you. Yes, thank God. Check my mouth. Thank you. This last slide, and no, I think, sorry. Here, I wrote that creativity is about exploration, curiosity, and freedom. It's less about the outcome. It's not the outcome at all. Most times as teachers, all we want to see is the outcome. No, it's not the outcome, it's the process. They are learning in their process. If it's the process, that is the most important thing. Because during that, whether the outcome comes out well or it doesn't come out well, is that process that they took to get there. They have learned so many things, so many skills has been built in that process stage. So creativity is less about the outcome, but more about the process, which brings me to my last slide before I open room for question. Now, every child has a creative potential. There's no child that is not creative. Every child has a creative potential. Now, our role as educator is to provide a space, the encouragement, and the resource for them to discover it. Every child has a potential. There's no child that does not have a potential. There's no every child has a potential in them, whether it's to draw, whether it's to make the place lively. Every child has a potential. It's not just about children that can write. No, we must make sure that as educators, we're able to provide them with everything that they need and ensure that they discover that creative potential. Thank you so much for listening. Questions, contributions.
Short and sweet.
Thank you. Sorry, actually, it was supposed to
And
be longer,
I
but
think
we
I
had
think
life
this is my
issues.
best session ever because it's practical. And you know what I mean by practical, as you're saying, you're talking this one earliest child.
Turn up.
practically doing what you're saying.
No.
So I think this is the best session we've had ever in this set of webinars. Thank you so much.
You're
Okay,
welcome.
I think I have one question.
All right, ma'am.
This last part, you say it's about the process,
Not the
not the
outcome.
outcome. Yeah.
Yes.
How about what do we do when the school is asking for, you need to cover the curriculum. By this time, this child is supposed to have been reading, this child is supposed to have been writing. How do you defend it as an early years educator?
Okay, well, that is very tough, and I believe that lots of early years teachers go through that. Like like you have a curriculum to meet up with. But what has always worked for me, I don't rebel, but in as much as once I see the scheme and it's one thing. My mantra is this: I'd rather teach a child. If it's better for a child to pick, at least if I know that I can cover from my week 1 to my week 5 and the children can pick it properly, it's better for me to do that than for me to just do, oh, I want to cover the scheme. I just taught my children week 1. I've done all my week. You see some teachers by week 10, they are done with their week 10. And I'll be one. Sometimes I just feel bad because if my children have not gotten a particular thing, I stay on that thing. I don't leave. Because where am I going to if the children can't pick it? And it has actually worked for me because when you are calling them and they are seeing that particular thing, like anyway, what do you want? What do you want? Are you my friend? Go and lock the tap. Go and lock it. Water is wasting. Go and lock it. Okay, sorry about that. So when it's better for you to impact, not just put in their head. It's the impact that matters. So sometimes schools can be on our neck. Like I understand, you have to cover a scheme. Somebody was talking to me about about her resigning in a place she just started because she was like, the children are supposed to write 1 to 1,000. And I was like, just at least share. Yes, I think in nursery 2, they are going to write 1 to 1,000. And I was like, share, let them know that it's not even about the children writing 1 to 1,000. So some schools don't understand. And at this point of my life that I've been, I don't think a school can threaten me again. So I think another thing is developing yourself. When they know that you know what you're doing, she literally had to stop the job. Like she was like, she can't go on. You're hungry. Go and take juice. Yes. So she literally had to resign. Now it's not less for the school to decide that, oh, this. So you need to stand your ground. You need to let them understand that, oh, this is what it's about. This is not about the children. And also another thing is communicating with parents, because some schools want to do that, but even the parents will not agree. So I think I missed that part. When you're doing all this, you also have to, oh, sorry. Anna, come. Sorry about that. So also you have to make sure that you are carrying your parents along, because some parents will say, oh, my friend's child can write this. Why come this person cannot do this? So you have to also carry the parents along. We talk about this a lot when we go to, in fact, when we start talking about this particular part, is we don't always want to leave that part because we need our job as quite all right, but the schools don't make it easy for us. So you also have to carry the parent along. That see, it's not, most parent that knows me know I will tell them that it's not about your child writing. I taught a child I teach the child in homeschooling, and he's not yet 3. He's not yet 3. Sorry, I like to let me just share so that we can understand. He's not yet 3, and the mom changed the school. And this boy can identify everything is fine because homeschooling, I'm doing not just academics, we're doing activities, we play with water, we do this. But the mom took him to a school and she came back and she was like, Miss Fola, you have to start teaching this boy to write, because that was their only complaint. They said he's excellent, but he cannot write. And I was just looking at her like, this boy is not 3, and a school is the one complaining. What do you want a 3-year-old child to write? I was just looking at her like, and she's always on my neck whenever she calls. I hope you are writing. The only thing she wants her child to do now is to write. I hope you are writing. I was like, okay, I want to start rewriting activities. We started playing with spray bottles and all. It was not just going on well with her. The only thing she wanted was because she wanted the child, before the child resumed, she wanted the child to be writing. So sometimes as educators, you just have to let them know that this thing, you just have to keep communicating. You just have to keep telling them. And with time, I know you definitely find someone that will listen. Thank you, ma'am. I
Thank
hope.
you. Yes, you have. This thing about schools. Many schools just don't understand the standard, and that's why they keep pushing, pushing, pushing. And most schools, especially that school that said that children should write 1 to 1,000, I'm sure they are doing a year ahead. Where primary one children are doing primary two work, and then the primary school ends at primary five and all of that. And parents think that they are doing their children well. Unfortunately, that is not the case. Thank you, Ms.
No.
Fola. Another question, please, other early educators, you can help us answer too, if you feel or contribute. Another question, Ms. Fola.
Yes, ma'am.
You will say we should allow creativity. What do I do to my 4-year-old that wants to draw on my wall, my newly painted walls?
Okay, actually, that's where the instruction part comes in. My daughter writes on my wall, but I keep telling her every day, don't write. You can write everywhere, but not my wall. Then another thing I know somebody does is that the lower part of our wall where our children can reach, she puts cardboard there. She put cardboard everywhere. Like she pasted cardboard there. Like, okay, you want to write on the cardboard. And I think even when
How
they do
much
that
cardboard
for
will I buy now?
the thing is that when they do that for a while, children are very smart. They tend to understand that, oh, maybe I'm not supposed to write on the wall. So such children, with time, they know that I'm not supposed to write on the wall. So the next thing they want to look for is paper.
Okay.
You know what they are doing often? With time, the way they are wired, they don't want to write on the wall again, because at a point it's registering on their head that, oh, okay, maybe this is not where I should be writing. So at least just for a little while, then you just always have to let the child know that, oh, no, you don't write on the wall. And immediately you are giving a child another option. This is where you should write on a book. Don't write on the wall. This is where you should write on a book. You're communicating it every time. They are learning. With time, they will pick up. You can't take that away. Even in class, we have children that write on the wall, or probably you go and buy a paint that you can clean because what they are developing is fine motor skills, so there's nothing you can do about that.
Thank you for supporting them, Miss Fola. All right. Thank you. Please, any question? Does anyone have any question? Or
Questions,
somebody wants to add
contribution.
something? Early years educators, I know you are all here.
Okay.
I have nothing about early educators, early years. Please, anyone that wants to add anything or ask any question? None?
Please contribute. Let them. They don't have questions. They have contributions. Okay, someone
Okay,
is
I have
raising.
a raised hand. Okay, Miss Fola Shade, your namesake. Miss Shade,
Okay, good evening,
please.
everyone.
Good
Yeah, please,
good
can you
evening,
hear
ma'am.
me?
Yes, we
Yes,
can.
we can hear you.
Please, I want to know that the parent has right to choose a teacher for
Okay, I think your network is breaking. Could you take
I
it
think
again?
Nekot is breaking, but I think I understand what she's
for
saying. Do you have a right to choose the teacher that will teach your child?
A right to choose the teacher that will teach your child. Is it in a school?
Miss Shade, Miss Shade, can you hear?
out class in
A
a place
child's
whereby
class.
maybe the parents said
Yes, yes.
as a parent choosing you have nursery 1A and nursery 1B. No, Miss Sade, I can answer you that one as an educator, as a school leader. No, the parent does not have that right. It's a school policy. Imagine where all the parents are saying the children should go to one particular class. That class will be overcrowded, and no school should allow it. No school should allow it. No, it's a no. I had that case this week where a parent came and actually wanted their child in one class and was making trouble as a school leader there, consulting for the school. I said it cannot be done, and I told her that if she doesn't like it, well, I'm sorry about it. She can take the child out of the school. The the every other person in the school was looking at me like we are looking for students, so but the parents got what I'm trying to say, and the child is there. So no, Miss Shade, no, it's a no. Okay, Miss Oluwatobi, your hand is up.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Good evening, Miss Raina. Good evening, Miss Fola. Thank you very much for this insightful training on creativity. So I was going to say something, but the last speaker sparked something in me. I don't hear things about parents, and I just keep quiet. It's something that I'm always very interested about. So for me, I have a yes and no answer. Yes and no because yes, you need to put some principles on ground so that parents don't just decide. And no, because when we talk about parent teacher collaboration, we need to find out why. Why does the parent not want this teacher? Could it be that in the past the teacher had taught the sibling, and then maybe the child was bullied? Could it be that she had had a very unpleasant experience with the teacher? So that is where the school management comes in. Find out why does the parent not want a child in that particular class. Then you now devise means or ways to, talk to the parents, right? And let the parent know that there's it's not possible to change the class, or but then you can look into it and probably warn the teacher or something. And I know there are some schools to avoid all of these things, like the school I work, one of the schools I worked, you don't get to see your class list until resumption day.
Yeah.
So you cannot even change it. You can only go back to the office to make complaints. But then I know that some parents will be granted their wish. I think when they ask what has happened and they get to hear some unpleasant things, right? Or maybe there's a child with special needs and they see that the teacher will not be able to handle, or the teacher already has 3 or 4 special needs children in the class already. I know some of those requests can be granted. So it's also good to ensure that we have a very smooth collaboration. Find out why the parent doesn't want the class and prefer solution based on that, and not just tell them outright no. So I think that's my own take on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Toby. I understand what you're saying. I think I agree with you totally. But like for instance, what happened in my own case this past week was we just played the class newly, and then there was a new teacher, and the parent just said no, she doesn't want a new teacher. She wants the old one that was in the school, without even knowing who this new teacher was. And this parent has had that issue before. This from what I heard, the session before, she also came. No, she doesn't like this teacher. Can they put a niche teacher in that class? So there are issues like that. That was one of the reasons why I said no for this one. I've had cases different years also where parents came before the new session. Oh, Miss Reina, please can my child be in your class? No, it's not possible. I talk with my management and I tell them why. I lay down concerns. Sometimes they agree, sometimes they don't agree. But in general, I don't think we should always give concession to parents, because we know these parents. Parents are some difficult set of humans. They will just want to take it. Once you do it the first time, get ready, because they will likely do it the next time. All right, Miss Precious, your hand is up.
Okay. Good. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Okay. I just wanted to talk on the writing aspects where the parents and the school expect so much of teacher. Like when Miss Fola used the example of a child being expected to write 1 to 1,000. To a large extent, I think it's it's most times the school. It's not really the parents. It's actually the school. Most schools are not like early childhood inclined, and they run early childhood classes and all, but they don't understand what is expected. So you just find
Yeah.
out, and to a large extent, we teachers, I don't know how to put it, we need the job. Some of us, it's not like
Mm.
we don't understand what is needed, but you are sometimes when you are trying to explain and explain, it's like they're like, if you can't give us what you want, this is what this school wants. If you can't give us what you want, go to somewhere else. And then if you still
Mhm.
go to another place, you will find that place too. So what do we do as teachers? We are teachers and we still need to survive. So
Yeah.
I feel this time around it has to be the government that should even implement policies, because these schools, some of them are actually oriented, some of them are certified in early childhood, some of the owners of the schools, but then they will tell you we are looking for customers, and then we
Yeah.
are not doing what we are expected to do. So it's actually a challenge, and that has to be dealt with, because most times you see the frustration going back to the teacher. You know this child is
Mm-hmm.
just 3 year old. You're not expecting so much of this child, but the school is putting the pressure on you, and sometimes even the teachers bully the
Honestly.
children. Right, you have to write,
Yes.
because this is what
Mm.
this is what the school wants you to do. And it's to a large extent it has to be the schools that should be called to
Yeah.
order. If there could be policy, like I understand that Lagos State government currently do not even really acknowledge early childhood. So if there could actually be policies put in place, to to curb these excesses, because it's actually excesses to be putting so much on the child. You're affecting the child's mental health, you're affecting everything about the child, you're just forcing that child to learn. And at the end of the day, you're leaving the major things and you are just focusing on right, right, right. Like Miss Fola, I had a conversation with her one time. She was like, this 1 to 3 this child is writing, does she even know what it is? This 1
What
to
it
20,
means.
can she even identify them? Can she even fill in missing numbers and all that? So it's actually a challenge that should be looked into, because to be honest, if it's the early childhood sector in Nigeria, it's a 20 over 100. I'm being honest with you. We are not really doing what is expected in early childhood in most schools, in most private schools. So thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you very much, Miss Precious. In fact, I had that problem once for my second child, which was in a new school, and they wanted her to write and everything. In fact, thank God my husband understands. Since I'm a teacher, I explained a lot of things to him. And he went there and said, look, I want my children to play. That was my first son and my second, my daughter, yes. He told them, I'm paying these fees for my child to play. Let them play. When it's time for them to write, I will let you know. So I don't know if early years have an association of something, and maybe that's where you should start. You guys should start talking about it in such areas. Put it up in publications. Put it up on your social media handles. Maybe it will get into the appropriate quarters, and then few of us that are school leaders, I'm sure we can do one or two things. That's what I'm doing currently at the school, where nursery one, they want them to start writing. I don't know how want to how many, and I spoke with the to the school. I said no, it's not possible. You know. So
Done.
thank you very much, Miss Precious. Miss Fola, I want to say add something.
No, no, no. Someone has their hands up. I think Miss Anu has her
Yes.
hands raised.
It's Miss, is it Miss or Mister Michael
Mrs.
Ayeni?
Yes.
Mrs. Sorry, Anu Wolapo,
Ah,
Anu Oluwapo, Anu Oluwapo.
No problem. I'll take
I don't know if I
any
got it. Please, sorry.
pronunciation. No worries. Good evening, everyone.
Good
Okay, so I
evening.
wanted to mention, I think one of the major challenges with schools and high expectations for children is the fact that they are looking for parents. So they want to showcase the children's academic excellence as a way of selling the school. I have visited a school one time where I asked how many minutes of playtime the children have, and the proprietress responded that, oh, they don't have playtime, they don't need playtime, they can play at home. We just want the children to know their addition, we want them to know their multiplication, because, this is what parents would see and would make them come to our school. So sometimes school owners, school leaders, they limit the activities in the early years because they want to showcase academic excellence as a way of making it look like, oh, in that school, the children are doing this from years, they're doing that. However, they do not understand that they are doing the children a disservice because you end up having children who know multiplication table, but they are not able to think critically. They're not able to problem solve. So just like what Ms. Fola has told us today, creativity leads to problem solving. I saw a post recently and I completely agreed with the poster where he shared that if your child comes to you and tells you you're bored, you tell them boredom is fine. It's okay to be bored. We're not just going to keep giving you what to do. Sometimes you can come up with something. You get creative at that time that you're bored. You want to think about that's how invention takes place. Because it's usually from someone being bored that the person to become an inventor because you're thinking, okay, how can I make things better? What can I do? So it's not all the time that we want to give the children numbers to write, multiplication tables to learn, or state and capital to learn, which is not even of any benefit to them. Sometimes it is important that we allow them to get bored and let them get creative. Give them puzzles and watch how they try to fix it. If it's seeming like a difficult one, instead of helping them because you think that's an easy way out, let them try to figure it out. It's also a way of building their concentration skills because if they have to find the way out on their own, they learn to focus other than waiting for someone to come and help them when they are stuck. So it is important that as school leaders or even as teachers here, we encourage our colleagues to not just focus on academic excellence. I know they are trying to find a way out or gain more learners for, but one thing I have seen is a lot of the big schools that have a number of children and they collect money millions. They don't even get the children to write 1 to 500 or 1 to
Yes,
100, and they still have
yes,
their
yes.
customers. And they have their customers. So what exactly are we talking about? So the most important thing is sensitizing the school leaders. Well, we thank God for social media now. Some of them are learning, but like Miss Rahina said, we just need to keep talking about it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Please help me with the name. Please teach me. Somebody teach me.
Just call her AMA.
AMA. Okay, thank you, Miss AMA. All right. Talking about you were talking. I remember my first son. First his early years. We go to school, and after school, you ask him, "What did you do?" He said, "I played." And my husband will say, "So all that school fees, you are going there to play?" Fortunately, I was working in that school, so during my free period, I went to just go peep and everything. And I spoke with the teacher who was my friend. And when she explained everything, I came home and said, "This boy is working, like seriously working." They'll go first thing in the morning. Once he goes, either he's drawing or fixing a puzzle. Then they sit for story time. Then you move to another room, creativity room, where he's either an astronaut or he cooks or he's a firefighter or something. Then he goes to another class where he builds, he constructs. Then there is time for water play. There's time for sand play. There's a time where he rides bike for his fine motor and gross motor skills. Then, he's working the entire day. And then when I close at 4 o'clock and we are ready to go home, this child is crying. The child is supposed to be tired, is crying. He doesn't want to go home. And it's so, I don't know what the word to use. Should I say it's crazy the way a lot of people don't understand that these children at this stage, they don't need all of this work. They have the rest of their life to um write, to calculate, to read, and all of that. Now the only time they have to play, play. I don't know why schools don't like children playing. I really don't, because me, even my primary school, I remember I played a lot. Me like this, I played very well. So I really don't know. I think, like we said earlier, we just keep talking and talking and talking and talking.
Yeah.
All right, Miss Precious, your hand is still up. Miss Precious.
Oh, I am so sorry. I forgot to I forgot to click that.
Okay. All right. So any other person, any other question, any other contribution, anything you want to add? Miss Fola, you want to add something for us?
Okay, so what I just want to say is that as early as educators, we just need to keep doing what is right. Some of these parents they know that you know what you're doing. If you know what you're doing, the parent knows that this person know what you're doing. Back to the question, I had a parent when I just started my early years teaching that didn't want me to teach a child. She practically said it, and I was hearing that, don't put my child in that person's class. But today, she's always looking for me. Come and teach my child. Please now, come and teach my child. She will be calling me like, I'll be you. I'm telling her that I don't have time. I'm busy. Like, I can't have, I'll manage to teach a child for 1 month during this summer. And she was like, so you can't continue. I said, no, I can't continue. This is the same parent that was like, my child should not stay in her class. So irrespective of how they're saying it, let's just overlook it and keep doing what is right. And parents know what is right, because I know someone that took a child away from a school because he said the school is not playing, they are too serious. So she took a child away from the school. So there are some parents that are already beginning to understand these things. Some parents are understand, and she's not even a teacher. She's not a teacher. I think she's an actress or so. She's not a teacher. So parents are getting to understand these things. So if we can keep enforcing it, if we can keep doing it, I'm sure with time they will get used to it. They will adapt. They will embrace previous learning. So that's just it. Thank you so much.
All right. Any other person? Those that are just coming, you missed. We've done a lot. We've done a lot. Maybe if Miss Fola is willing, she can share her slides to me, and then you can reach out. And
Okay, I will share my
speak to
slide.
you.
I will. That's not a problem. That's fine.
Thank you, Miss Fola.
You're
But
welcome.
you will get the slide, but unfortunately the discussion part. Okay, I forgot. It's recorded. Good for you. So as soon as I can, I'll make the link available for a rewatch on YouTube. As soon as I can. At most by Monday, it should be up on YouTube for us, because I will keep revisiting. That's one of the things I do for my webinars. I keep revisiting to learn one or more things again, to remind myself of whatever I've learned, apart from what I've jotted down. All right. Any other contribution or question? In the absence of none, thank you so much, Miss Fola.
Thank you so much, Miss
The learner's favorite teacher.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for gracing us with your presence, for sharing your knowledge with us.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for turning up. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ms. Raina, for the opportunity. Thank you so much. I am grateful. Thank you.
We are grateful for you to be here too. Thank you. All right. Thank you, everyone. I've had a lovely time. It's refreshing. I think I've learned one or two things. If you can sign out. It's for all these hearts and flowers for you. Nobody is giving for me.
No, I'm sure it's for the both of us.
No, it's all for you.
I'm sure it's for the both
of us. All right. Thank you all. Good night.
Good night, everyone.